everyone, I'm Aria and welcome to day 13 of Mini Winterfest. So today I have a base game starter home for you. Normally I really struggle with base games. The budget side of things I think I'm getting a lot better at. But when it comes to only decorating with the base game, I do find it a bit of a struggle, mostly because some of the items in the expansion packs are a lot cheaper than the base game items. So if I try and do a starter home with all the packs, I can usually get it a lot more decorated. There's a lot more detail in it, whereas with just the base game, some of the items, like I said, they're just a little bit more expensive, so I have to use less details. Not that that's an issue, but you know, for me, I like to have lots of clutter, and there's not really that many clutter items in the base game either, so it kind of looks a little bit empty in my opinion, but I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. I try to do some debug decorating as best I can, especially on the outside. I was inspired by MarMax on Twitter. I'll link the account in the description if you haven't already checked out their builds. I think most of them are base game, but they always do really intricate details with shelving on the outside, which is amazing. They use the tool mod, which is what I have used today. I think I use the tool mod in every single one of my builds, to be honest. I struggled to not use it, but I haven't used shelves to do the decorations on this one. I have used a debug wooden plank, which doesn't cost anything, so it was a lot easier for me to keep the price down that way, especially when I'm using this green paint on the outside like that. It just kind of looks a little bit boring. There's no like detail to it, so this is the plank that I use, and I've only shown you me decorating this like front section because it literally took me so long. I didn't think you want to sit and watch me place these wooden planks for, you know, an hour. So I've just shown you this little section here, and I think it looks so much better. You can create a lot of different unique and custom kind of designs with these things. And for those of you who don't have the tool mod, I believe there are some people who have rotated a bunch of things and then uploaded them in a room to the gallery, so you can still, you know, if you wanted certain things rotated a certain way, then you can still download those rooms from the gallery and use them without having to rotate them yourself. And you know, I'm more than willing to help if anyone would like me to do that for certain things too. So but yeah, I didn't really know what kind of design I was going for, so I just kind of was playing around, to be honest. But I end up going with sort of like a, I guess it's like very similar to the style of the Get to Work wooden panels, and I just think it looks interesting, which is what I was going for, just a little bit more detail than, you know, just a plain boring green wall. Anyway, when it comes to building on a budget, for me, I definitely feel like I have gotten a lot better at it. And when it's, you know, actually playing a game, for me, I do like my Sims to struggle. It sounds kind of strange to say, but when they have loads of money, it's just not really as challenging, and it's not quite as fun when, you know, you can afford the most expensive thing in the game. Like at the moment, I haven't played my challenge for a little while, especially since I've been building this series. I haven't really had time to actually play the game because I spend all my free time building. So hopefully once I have finished this little challenge of mine next week, I will be able to get back and play it. But at the moment I am kind of just starting Gen 3 of my challenge that I play on Tumblr, and I moved her out because she was a young adult and it was like time for her to live her own life, sort of thing. But her family have so much money that it kind of felt a little bit strange to move her out with like nothing, especially since the whole storyline with them is that like her dad is a single dad and he's had like 3 jobs to try and support the family, and he's made all this money so that she can have, you know, his daughter can have an amazing life. And it just seemed a little bit odd that I would then move her out with nothing. So I have kind of used the family money to buy her a house and then set the like family funds down to like not much. I think I've given her like 5,000 and said like, that's fine, you know, her dad bought her a house and the rest of it is up to her. Because otherwise it's like, oh, okay, I've got all this money and it's just, what's the point in them going to work, you know? And I do kind of like the challenge. But when it comes to like starting a legacy or a family from like first generation, I am quite happy for my Sims to live in a box, you know, everything all in one room, 2-3 people living on top of each other. That really doesn't bother me. I quite like the fact that they're uncomfortable and it just kind of encourages me to make them work harder so that they can actually have like a better house and, you know, more space. But some people don't like playing like that. They prefer to play in, you know, readily functional houses like this. So which is why I'm building it as, you know, as functional and as large as I possibly can. I mean, I could probably go bigger than this, but I'm sticking to my less than 100 tiles situation. So there you go. So it is a 2-bedroom house. The second bedroom I have decorated as an office, or decorated, I've put a desk and a bookshelf and a computer in there. That's about all I could afford. But I think that it would be a really good home for, or a really good room for a toddler or a child, depending on, you know, how many Sims you start with, or if you start with 1 Sim, start with 2 Sims, you know, it's good as maybe a nursery. I don't tend to decorate nurseries very often because I usually age my babies up like straight away. I think I currently have their age span, or like the days of babies in MC Command Center, set to like 2 days. So like they're born on one day and then they age up the next day. So just in case I'm like busy with other things and I don't have time to, or I don't get around to it, you know. But yeah, I just don't see the point in them. They can't do anything, so I tend to just age them straight up. So there's no point in me decorating a room for them, you know, if they're not going to be babies for more than like 1 Sim day. So I tend to just stick with decorating toddler rooms, and then, you know, they can just kind of go straight in there. But anyway, I thought for this build it would be more suitable to have an office, since for pretty much everything you need a computer. So I thought I needed to include a computer. I could have maybe used a cheaper one than that one, but I thought, you know, I don't really like the look of that big box one. And the same with the dining table and the dining chairs. These ones are, I think they were originally CC and then they were put into the base game. They're a little bit more expensive. There are, you know, items that I could have chosen that were a little bit cheaper, but I just prefer the look of them. They look a little bit nicer. The sofa I didn't really have much of a choice with, but I am glad that it comes in some really nice colors. This dark blue one is probably my favorite, either that or like a dark like charcoal gray. To me, they are just the most sensible colors for sofas. I have included the odd item from the holiday celebration free pack and the new items that we got with yesterday's update. I, at the time of building this, didn't have enough money to afford the Christmas tree, but I might go back in before I upload it and see if I can move things around and if I can afford the tree. I'm not sure how much it is, but I think by the end of me building this I only had like 50 simoleons left, so not really enough for a tree, but I might be able to delete some of these clutter items just to get the tree in. Either that or I'll try and figure out a way to use a debug one or something. I don't know. But I did include a very, very small like backyard area with these debug fencing. There isn't anything out here because I couldn't afford like the gardening plots, but I have landscaped it, so it does look relatively okay. It does look nice, you know. You could probably stick a bench out here or something and, you know, be quite happy to sit out here. So a while ago I tried to, I wasn't like creating a save file or anything like that, I'm not that ambitious. I just thought I think it was right at the beginning actually when I first downloaded the tool mod, like a year ago, probably more, and I was just playing around with it, seeing what I could do, and I did some decorating in this starter neighborhood in Willow Creek and decorated the road area and some of the like surrounding green spaces. I put some bins out on the street, and like I think I put a car in front of a couple of houses, and I also put I think it's the climbing frame, the jungle gym thing, over to what is the right hand side of this house under the tree. It isn't there for most people. It's just what I have done to kind of decorate this like little neighborhood for myself, and I really like the look of it. It looks a lot more full and interesting, and you know, I just think it's a lot more, I don't know, it just kind of looked a little bit empty before, so I really like the way that it looks now. It looks like a normal, you know, lived in neighborhood. And I haven't decorated all of the houses or like all of the lots in this little area. I've done the one next to it and the one on the corner, so like the two opposite this house on the other side of the street are completely empty. I don't know what to build there. Whenever I go to build anything, I always look at like what it looks like from a screenshot point of view, like from the gallery, and the big one is taken from like the main road, so it kind of looks a little bit strange if you build it sideways on so that it faces the same way as the rest of the house. It just like other houses, sorry, it just looks a little bit odd because the screenshot from like the thumbnail on the gallery is from like the side. And I don't like that, so I don't tend to build on that one. And then the lot that's opposite this one, I don't know, I just don't like building there for some reason. I don't have any particular reason. It just isn't my favorite place to build. But this lot here, I build here more than most of the other lots. I don't know, it's just maybe it's just because I like the car and the bins out the front of this one that I've moved with the tool mod, so it just looks a lot nicer. Especially from like a thumbnail point of view. So I did change the season here back to summer. I had originally already set it to summer, but for some reason all of the flowers and everything were still showing as winter, so I had to just change it to winter again and then change it back to summer, and it worked at the time. I just wanted to know what the flowers and things would look like when it was in summer, or for anyone who doesn't have seasons, what the landscape would actually look like. I have taken the screenshots in winter because I wanted it to look like it was relatively Christmassy, since I have used the holiday celebrations items. And you know, the whole point of Mini Winterfest was that I had some Christmassy builds. I haven't really done that many, and I think I kind of overdid it in the beginning and then was like, I don't want to build Christmassy builds anymore. But you know, I needed to do at least one more before we get to, you know, the last week next week. So the last thing that I do with the landscaping is add some of my favorite rocks here. I do some terrain painting. I literally just add some dirt and then I put some of my favorite trees down. So that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I do really appreciate it when you watch my videos. It does mean a lot to me. So yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye everyone.
I don't know about tomorrow, but I have something for today. I can't be caring for others, not just living for myself. If I stop just for a moment, I won't lose this morning sun. If I'll try just to look forward, I will see the morning dawn. I will see